Today I'm making a big batch of meatballs that I like to make as a meal prep. It of course starts with meat. I use both ground beef and ground pork, some eggs, some breadcrumbs, a garlic clove and a little bit of milk, plus some seasonings, both dried onions and Italian seasonings, as well as salt and pepper. We're just going to mix all these together in a mixing bowl. Not any real particular order, I just like to start with the meat and then put the dried ingredients on top of that. Finish with a little bit of milk and the garlic, and you are ready to start mixing this together. I always like to start mixing with a wooden spoon. You wouldn't think this would be as hard as it is, but it can be kind of a challenge to get this started. I do like to you kind of have to be patient and keep at it and keep mixing, and eventually this will all come together. I've also found over the years that as much as you mix with a spoon and you get it to the point where it looks pretty good, I will almost always give up on the spoon and resort to my hands just to make sure you have that last bit of mixing really well done. Your hands are going to get dirty anyway when you roll the meatballs, so at this point you say to yourself, what the heck, just go for it. Then when you have that mixture all nice and ready to go, I have a parchment lined baking sheet as well as a cookie scoop. I use the cookie scoop to measure out my balls and roll them nicely in my hands and then place them on the lined sheet. You can put these pretty close together on the cookie sheet. It's not like a cookie where it's going to spread out. It's going to stay in this ball shape, and so place them really close together so you have enough room when you've done all 2 pounds. You have enough room for all of those meatballs on your baking sheet. We're going to bake these in a 400-degree oven for 20 minutes. And at the end of that baking time, you see you have beautifully browned and ready to go meatballs. I consider these pre-cooked. They're ready for sauce or however you want to serve them. And since I made 2 pounds, I like to think of this as something for today and something for another day. So I'm putting half of them into a skillet, and I'll add sauce to these in a little bit. Then the other half I'm going to transfer to a separate cookie sheet. You could do this on the same sheet. I just like to kind of transfer this to a cleaner sheet, plus it's a half sheet so it'll fit a little bit better in my freezer. And just transfer, so this is about 1 pound of meatballs. We're going to put this on this sheet, spread them out, and put them in the freezer for 1 hour to start to freeze. Then in the meantime, we have the meatballs that are in that skillet. Added some sauce to those and just keep heating and stirring to make sure you have some delicious sauce, as well as let's make some pasta, of course, because this is a meal that is always well received at my house. When those meatballs have had a chance to start to freeze, like I say, I leave them in for an hour. I just transfer them to a zip top bag for longer term storage. The reason for the first freezing step is so they don't freeze together. If you put those warm meatballs in the bag, they'll just stick together. But this is all set to go. I hope you give this a try. This is a great, easy way to make a meal for now and then an easier one for later. And if you try it, I know you'll love it. Enjoy.